Hello and welcome to the Moorhead Youth Arena South Rink. I am here to train you through this video on how to run this scoreboard, the scoreboards in this arena using this panel. A lot of people have a little fear when they are expected to run the clock, or say some of the jobs that are available on dibs are only running the clock. That's all that's left and you need hours. And this is a scary job to a lot of people. I'm here to tell you this is not a scary job. Once you do it once, you'll be a pro and you'll be wanting to be over here all the time, no matter how cold it is in here. So this is the panel that we use to run the scoreboards. This is where you're going to enter time, you're going to enter penalties, and you're going to enter scores. This binder right next to the panel is everything you need to know on how to do those things. Very simple instructions, very step by step, very clear. There are some papers here that are attached to the table. Those might be gone by the time you get in here. Some of the information is old on those. So just stick with this binder here and what I'm going to show you on the video. Okay, this is an important piece too. This is I like to call it the remote switch for running the clock. Just know that that's an important piece of running the clock as well. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do when you step into the scorekeeper's box is get the scoreboard ready for a new game. You're either going to see, depending on what time it is or what time of the day it is, or if it's the first game of the day, last game of the day, you're going to either see the previous game's score on the board, you're going to see the time of the day on the board. So basically what you want to do is just set up a new game. So all you have to do there is hit the shift button here, hold it down, and hit period, although you'll see in green it says new game. So shift period, which is a new game. This is going to help you to know what you're entering as well, this window here. So it says new game, yes or no. Yes is here, so press yes, and your scoreboard is ready to go. It's set up for 15 minutes, and it says period 1. So everything else should clear off of there, whatever was on the board before. Most of the games that you work will be 15-minute periods. There will be some junior gold games that will be 17-minute periods. There may be some postseason tournament games, district tournament, state tournament games that will be 17-minute periods. So if that's the case, you're just going to you're going to set up your new game like we just did. You're going to go to clock set, and you're going to override this. You're going to just change it to 17 minutes. Watch the screen here. Don't watch the scoreboard because it won't change until you hit enter. Okay, so 17 minutes is what you want. Hit enter, and then you're on 17 minutes, and the scoreboard has changed. Okay, but again, you're not probably going to have a 17-minute period very often. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, I'm just going to set up a new game again. Yes, enter. Okay. Okay, so entering scores is super easy. You'll notice some of these buttons are blue and some are yellow. We're not going to be using these over here, but these blue buttons are for the home team. The yellow buttons are for the visiting team. So if the home team scores a goal, you're going to hit home score +1. And then you don't have to hit enter, just hit home score +1. Okay, same thing on visitors, visitor score +1, and it'll be up there. Super easy. Entering, let's say you enter a score for the visitor when it should, or a goal, sorry. Let's say you enter a goal for the visitor when it should have been for the home team. All you need to do then is just go visitor score, and then there's a -1 right here, and that will take it down to 0, or down to the next number down, whatever it is. Okay, entering penalties. In Minnesota, 15-minute period games, minor penalties are 1.5 minutes. So we have this set up it's where you can choose one of 3 times for penalties. So let's say it's a home penalty. Home penalty is up here. Press home penalty. If it's a minor penalty, it's just going to be 1:30. So it's the first button here, 1 minute, 30 seconds. The players, it wants you now to enter the player number. So whatever the player's number is that's sitting in the box, put that in, hit enter, and now you've got home number 15 with a 1.5 minute minor penalty. And it will be on the scoreboard as well. Okay. Ooh. The time will run down with the clock. Okay, so here's where this remote comes in. You can either use this remote to run the time down, like that, and it's going to run down on your panel, and it's going to run down on the scoreboard as well. And you'll notice that both the main clock, or the game time, is running down as well as the penalty time. Okay, those run together. If I use this to turn the time, to turn the clock on, I gotta use this to turn it off. Okay? There's a button here as well that does the same thing. So it's really up to you if you want to stand here with your hand on the panel or hold this. Hold this in your hand next to you. I prefer this. It's just, I don't know, it's just easier to use your thumb and just kind of hold it off to the side than to stand here with your finger here ready to go. You're going to start and stop the time with a referee whistle or when they drop the puck. Okay? Okay, let's say, so your home team has a penalty and the visiting team scores while that penalty is being served. You want to clear this off the board. So to clear the penalty off the board, you go back to visitor penalty. I'm sorry, home penalty, not visitor. Home penalty. Enter the player's number that's going to be cleared. So 15. And then you hit enter 2 times. And this is right here on the bottom of this instruction, the instructions on the binder. Okay? And that takes it off the board. Otherwise, excuse me, otherwise you just let it run down and the penalty box worker will let the skater back on the ice once the penalty has been served. Okay? For a 17-minute period game, you're going to use this +1 down here for a 2-minute penalty. So visitor penalty, +1. Enter the player number, enter. Okay, you're going to do 2-minute penalties on anything that's over 15 minutes in length for a period. If it's a major penalty, and the referees will tell you, then you're going to use this button here. 5 minutes, enter. Okay? All right. So let's say your period is done. First period's over. You're going to want to go over to the clock set button, which is automatically going to be set to 15 minutes because, like I said before, most of the games are going to have 15-minute periods. So just hit set clock, or clock set, sorry. It'll show 15 minutes, hit enter. Again, when you're entering things on the panel, watch this screen here. Don't watch the scoreboard because it's not going to be up there until you hit enter. Okay, a lot of people I see doing that, they hit the buttons and they're looking at the scoreboard to see what they're entering. It's not going to show up there, it's going to show up here, okay? All right, and then for the period change, you just hit period, and you can either put in the period number and enter, or you can just simply go +1, and it will change it to the second period. Okay, I think that is pretty much about it. There's a light here that says auto horn. That means when the clock runs out, the horn is just going to go off by itself. This button here is going to turn that off, and so you don't want that. You want that auto horn on, and it'll go off when the time runs out. You are welcome to stop at the arena anytime to practice. Okay, there's usually nothing going on during the day. Once in a while we'll have a private rental, but one of the sheets of ice is typically open for you to come out here and practice running this clock. And I highly recommend you do that. Or you can also come out and just kind of stand behind if there's a game before your game, just kind of stand behind the person that's in here and just kind of watch what they're doing. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us in the office. My name is Julie. Elaine is in the front office. She answers the phones and does a lot of things with tournaments, and she does a lot of things. She's great. So please give either one of us a call and we will help you as best we can. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope that it helps calm your nerves a little. The other one thing I want to say is, do not feel like you have to rush through entering things on this panel, okay? Especially if this is your first game. Let the referees know before the game, hey, I've never run this clock before, just be patient with me. You're not going to slow the game down to the point where we're going to be late for the next game, okay? So just relax, take your time. We want to make sure that you have a good understanding of how to run the clock. And so just be patient with yourself. Nobody wants you to do this as fast as you possibly can. It's totally fine. All right, thank you very much, and we'll see you at the rink.